What are the best ways for B2B lead generation? Everyone swears that they know the secrets to B2B lead generation: cold outreach, paid ads, or endless networking. But what if the most qualified leads are already looking for you and you're just invisible to them? In this episode, we're dismantling the myths that waste your time and your budget. And we're going to show you how a tiny, laser-focused audience can be way more profitable than going massive viral or something like that. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to spot, how to capture the B2B leads that your competitors don't even realize exist. Let's dive right in. Let's begin this episode with some rapid-fire myth-busting. Myth number 1, the best B2B leads require cold outreach or LinkedIn direct messages. I know myself in the last few years, I've been really seeing that increase. So there's a lot more spam on email. There's a lot of spam on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place for B2B, right? Rewind back a decade ago, and I did used to generate a lot of leads from LinkedIn, but it really has become a spammy environment. Today, there's so much of it, that direct outreach that's cold marketing and just overt promotion, that I personally don't use LinkedIn anymore for that. Myth number 2, you need to pay for ads. Now, there are strengths to ads. My favorite strength is when you're doing a paid ad campaign, you can get quick results. And what that allows you to do is test and refine and tweak. So if you have a landing page, you can test the copy on that page. You can test the colors. So you can split test and have 2 different pages, send half the traffic to one, half the traffic to the other. You can test your offers. You can test every step along your funnel pretty quickly. So with whatever budget you put into it, you might break even and not have profit at the end, but you'll have a better working funnel. Now, over time, as you refine that and improve that, then your paid ads can become profitable. If they become profitable, that's actually a really good sign that you could then start doing organic traffic, or people that are searching for you, into that same funnel. The leads that you'll generate organically, people that are searching for you into that funnel, are going to be far superior than your paid ads. When you do paid ads, you have to churn through a lot of people and you have to annoy a lot of people to find leads. Myth number 3, B2B leads only come through networking or referrals. Amazing leads come from networking, right? When you get a referral or when you meet somebody in person at an event or something like that, the reason they are so valuable is because there's a relationship of trust that's built. And so that type of lead generation is very, very effective. But to say that it's the only way to generate B2B leads, that's the part that's a myth. The disadvantage to networking is it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of travel. Referrals are wonderful. I just got an amazing referral from one of my clients the other day. And if I could turn that up and get 10 referrals a day, that would be amazing. But that's not the reality. It's really hard to scale those things, and networking takes so much time that if I focus on that, that becomes my role, and I'm not able to focus on other things. Myth number 4, YouTube is only good for B2C. Many of the clients that I work with focus on B2B, and how they built their business is through networking, through referrals, and through doing cold outreach. And one of my favorite things is to experience when the light bulb comes on for them as they start to see a better type of lead come in. You can actually differentiate between whether you're targeting the consumers or the business owners. It's pretty easy when you're focusing on search. In other episodes on this channel, I go into that in a lot more detail, but so that you can understand, if you think of who your ideal audience is, these people that would be dream clients and customers for you, right now, they're going to Google, they're going to YouTube, they're going to ChatGPT, and they're typing in questions. So if you can do research to find what are they typing in, what are the questions that they are asking? As you do that research, you'll find some questions that are clearly from consumers, and you'll find some questions that are clearly being asked by business owners. So if your goal is B2C, you know what questions to focus on. If your goal is B2B, you know what questions to focus on. So to finish the story about my clients, yes, they're generating amazing B2B leads, not just because it's a B2B environment like LinkedIn or something like that, but because we're leveraging YouTube, we're able to focus on businesses and generate referral quality leads that way. Myth number 5, ranking in search isn't relevant for B2B decision makers. A lot of times we think of CEOs as being above everybody else. They don't use YouTube. I want to go to a place where the CEOs are. Well, there really isn't another option. Whether you're a CEO or whether you're a newbie in the company, if you have a question, you want to figure something out, we're all using the same tools. We're going to Google, we're going to YouTube, we're going to ChatGPT. And when you do the research, you can find the questions that they're asking. And when you find a question that you know, oh, that person is a CEO. Oh, this question, they're a newbie. And there are millions of questions being asked by the decision makers. Now, with traditional marketing, such as paid ads or even a billboard, there's a couple disadvantages that we have there. One is we're targeting everybody. The goal would be, how can we hone in just to our target audience? The second disadvantage, though, is the timing. They might be your ideal client, but they might not be in need of what you offer right now. So the reason that search works so well for B2B lead generation is not only can it hone in on your target audience, but it ensures that they're finding you at the perfect moment. Intuitively, you already know this. I mean, you think about your expertise, you think about what you offer, and you know that there are people out there that really need help from you. So search-based marketing is a way to make sure that these people, when they're searching, they're finding you. This next thing that I'm gonna say is gonna sound pretty crazy, okay? So with that preface, hear this. If there is a question that this B2B audience is asking, let's say it only gets 10 searches a month. That is gonna be so valuable to you, so much more valuable than a video that might get 10,000 views. If it's your target audience in the right moment, even if there's only 10 searches that month, that's gonna turn into customers. That's gonna turn into business revenue. Where a video that gets 10,000 views is likely to not generate a single lead. So one of my specialties with my clients is we really take a look at their business, the clients that they're currently serving, and we know to hone in on these micro audiences that are really going to generate leads. The next thing that I want to discuss is kind of a question. Can you automate this? Can you automate B2B lead generation in a way that doesn't hurt your personalization or that relationship? When people have that question or concern, I know that they are the right person for me to help, because the number one thing that we want to do is build a true relationship. We don't want things to become cold or automated in that we don't pay attention anymore. So in the beginning, it's very important for you to be hands-on and do everything so that you can learn the ropes and you can see how that relationship is being built. You can refine your presentation through webinars and doing them live. When you create video, the more that you can just be conversational instead of giving a rote presentation, something that's scripted, the more successful it's going to be. And if you can have a video like that turn into conversations, that's the best of both worlds, because you have a tool that you can leverage, you can send out to the masses, and you can even be building that relationship with people while you sleep. But then when they're ready to take the next step, you're there. And if you're selling a high-ticket service or program, it's going to require a personal conversation anyway. As I work with different businesses, I kind of see two different paths. So there's the path of a business owner who is 100% referral and word of mouth, and they work with them very closely individually. And so they provide a really good service. They're really well loved, but it's slow growth. I mean, extremely slow growth. Then there's the other side that is very automated. They have the websites, they have the landing pages, but there's no personal touches. And so for them, the growth is slow. They have a very low conversion rate. And so what we do is we do something that's in the middle. We take the best of both worlds. We automate the parts that can be automated, the parts that can be scaled, but we do it in a way that's not salesy, that people don't feel like they're being sold to, that builds a relationship of trust. And we have the personal touch points along the way so that there really is a relationship there. What's the ROI difference between ads and organic lead generation? In the short term, I'd expect you to see a higher ROI on paid ads because you can move quicker and you can test and tweak and refine and improve things in a very short amount of time. Now, in my experience with organic, it typically takes 2, 3, or 4 months before you're going to start generating consistent leads. Now, if you've already got a very successful lead generation system, let's just say it's paid ads right now, if that is working well and you start doing organic and sending those organic leads into that same funnel, you can expect your results to happen a lot faster. Now that you know what's possible and that there is a way of finding better B2B leads, the next step is making sure that they see you as the obvious choice to help them. So that's exactly what I put together in this next episode. The episode's called What is Authority Marketing? And once you watch it, you'll understand how to turn every lead into a warm, ready-to-buy conversation. So definitely go watch that video next.